Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Nigeria has signed a bilateral agreement with neighbors Benin Republic to deepen cooperation and accelerate regional reforms. The signing of the agreement was witnessed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his Beninois counterpart, President Patrice Talon, who described the agreement as a full integration of both countries. Joining the conversation this morning is Mukhtar Mohammed. Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed is an economist and an international trade expert. Mr. Mohammed, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you for having me this morning. Good morning.
Would like to start by getting your reactions to the signing of this bilateral agreement.
Well, every bilateral agreement should excite any nation, depending on the volume of business you want to do together. And if you are not doing so much business with your neighbor, then I wonder how much business you do with others that are far away, especially when you look at Africa in the area of infrastructure. It should be easier for Nigerians to do business with Benin than to do business even with others of our neighbor because of the proximity. But what we should be asking ourselves in this bilateral trade agreement, what type of business will we be doing with the Benin? Will we be doing trade that has to do with agriculture, or will we be seeing our borders overflowed with Beninian goods that are brought in from foreign lands because their exchange rates because their port duties are cheaper than ours? Or will we be seeing things produced from Benin being brought into Nigeria and things produced from Nigeria taken to Benin? And in this trade agreement, what are the tariff on these goods that are produced in Nigeria and goods that are produced in Benin? What are the taxes? Are they free from taxes? Are they free from levies? What is our border security going to look like in terms of goods from Nigeria and goods from Benin? Those are critical questions that need to be answered in this bilateral agreement, which have not been made public yet, for us to really know how far this agreement will go.
So, Mr. Mohammed, President Tinubu, he says that it's up to the ministers from both countries to actualize this agreement, that they've done their part between him and President Patrice Talon. There is a question of, the president describes this as a full integration between both countries, and both of us are members of ECOWAS. So I'm curious as to your thoughts on what full integration could mean that's different from what ECOWAS already provides.
Well, full integration might mean that when you see fully integrating, that means we have become part and parcel. We are now one. And so that one might be in the area of trade. So what he's saying is that full integration means what happens here happens there in terms of trade. So hopefully we see how that plan out with what we have here and what they have there. Because again, the volume of trade in any agreement, I keep saying, signing an agreement is one thing, but the volume of trade between both nations is more important. So some nations do not even have bilateral agreement, but they have volume of trade. From the volume of trade, they begin to build bilateral agreement. So in our own case now, if you look at Nigeria and look at Benin, you look at what has been the volume of trade between us, you realize that mostly the volume of trade between us and Benin are things that are smuggled from one of those countries into ours or from us into theirs. So are we going to liberalize that sector? What the Beninois have enjoyed from Nigeria until recently was subsidy of petroleum products. Now, how do we now integrate that? Are we going to be selling the same our fuel to Benin at the same price we sell in Nigeria? Are the tariff in their port and the tariff in Nigerian port going to be the same so that we have that full integration whereby as a Nigeria I can decide that I want to bring in any product? So, or is it going to be just the products that are produced in Nigeria and produced in Benin? Then we come to zero down to the cost of production and cost of funding and cost of transportation and the cost of production in their own area and cost of funding and cost of transportation. Then we have the market more than them. Will our market be flooded by their goods that are cheaper than ours, whereby Nigerians would rather buy the Benin goods because of the cheap nature and also the quality than what we have in Nigeria? That is what full integration means. Is we are doing things together. But like I said, the president has said the ministers will have to make it work, which I agree. That means the ministers should be giving us details of what this full integration means.
Right. Well, Mr. Mukhtar, there's definitely a lot to look out for in this particular conversation. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. Mukhtar Mohammed is an international trade expert and an economist who joined us this morning on Now Breakfast to speak on the signing of a bilateral agreement between Nigeria and Benin Republic, an agreement which has been described by the president as a full integration.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.